So it's gonna happen slowly, guys. But we got to get back to House of the Dragon, and it's not because I'm a fan of the show, because I think the show from even the get go, it's not that good. If you go to my reviews, which are still up, I was like pretty critical of where they were going. But apparently, George R. R. Martinos, who was very enthusiastic about the beginning, and it seems the first season is universally beloved. Not by me. I'm fairly critical. I'm like, it's fine. But season two, holy cow! Now most of the fandom is really like, it was very disappointing. And George went public saying, yeah, I did not like what they were up. Now this is really weird because there's still a lot of interviews. George is right there next to him, where Rion Condal was like, George is my hero. I love my George. And George is like, I love Rion. I trust Rion. Rion is my knight. We're gonna do it, guys. We're gonna bring Westeros back from the divisive. I'll say divisive. It's not divisive. I think it's like 95% of the fandom was disturbed and disgusted with what they did with the final season of Game of Thrones, and we're still kind of traumatized in the fandom of like, what the hell was that about? But anyway, we apparently were moving on, and we're still moving on because Dunk and Egg, which I am enthusiastic for, it looks good. It looks like it'll be a small TV series, but actually very powerful. And I actually even had some House of the Dragon scoops, some of which I got unlucky about. I'm not joking with you. There was a time I was homeless and I was in this hotel, and someone did break that they had these photos of what seemed to be, because it was so blurry. These photos didn't look good, but it was like, oh, they seem to have got legit shots of the production that I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is real. So I let that one go. So I've been lucky enough to be very close to getting scoops, but, it is what it is. I think I had one legit scoop on House of the Dragon was the casting. But anyway, we'll put that aside. So anyway, so it seemed Ryan and GRM were fine, but Ryan has broken the silence and admits, yes, he and George are not entirely getting along, and they have issues with one another. So let me just do a short excerpt of this bigger quote. Because, well, we want to be fair to both sides. He said, I made every effort to include George in the adaptation process. I did. I really did. Over years and years, and we really enjoyed a mutually fruitful, I thought, really strong collaboration for a long time. But at some point, we got deeper down the road. He just became unwilling to acknowledge the practical issues at hand in a reasonable way. I think as a showrunner, I have to keep my practical producer hat on and my creative writer, lover of the material hat on at the same time. At the end of the day, I just have to keep marching, not only the writing process forward, but also the practical part of the process forward for the sake of the crew, the cast, and for HBO, because that's my job. So I can only hope that George and I can rediscover that harmony someday, but that's what I have to say about it. So, translating from Hollywood newspeak propaganda, yeah, I'm selling out George and I'm selling out the fandom. Like, the fans don't matter. George doesn't matter. I'm working for HBO now. My contract is with HBO. Because a lot of people are delusional about where George fits in the hierarchy. They're paying him a ton of money. Let's be very clear. HBO has given him tons of money. We're talking tens of millions of dollars. But unless you really study Game of Thrones at the expert level like I do, you may be a little bit in the illusion land of where things are. Because, yeah, you pick up the books. And by the way, my books do not have the HBO covers. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying I could show people. I could screenshot it 2 seconds. I have I actually have the Clash of Kings nearby me, literally physically. Anyway, so I have my books are some of the old covers. People don't understand there are two regimes. There's the George regime, where George makes money from the merchandising. George makes money with the artist from cover and books, etc. That is its own thing, right? When HBO puts its covers on those real books, that's a different regime, right? I don't even know how that works out. I guess the publisher and HBO have made some agreement to, help each other out. But again, when you pick up that book, I would assume even with the HBO cover, George gets the money. Now, when Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, George gets a little bit of money. The real money goes to HBO, right? So just word to the wise, when you pick up official Game of Thrones merch, the way I think it works out, George really doesn't get any of that. He gets a little bit here and there, but he doesn't really get any of it. And by the way, George is lucky because you will see this and you will probably be puzzled saying, wait a minute, I don't understand. So I got my official HBO merch, and then we have George selling his merch. How does that work? That's the way it works. We've got the HBO empire, and we've got the George R. R. Martin empire. And Ryan is being kind of cute and saying, I sold out to the HBO empire. Which, by the way, I thought it was Max. I thought it was the Max empire. Who cares? Nobody cares about these things. Come on, it's all a grift. I just found it astonishing. He just still is leaving that branch out. Maybe George can rediscover that I'm the genius and I'm controlling everything. I hope one day we can go back to the old years when I was in control and he was dumb enough to believe me and I was different from Benioff and Weiss. But I'm not. I'm Benioff and Weiss coming together now. But to be respectful of Ryan, I don't think he's as that stupid as Benioff and Weiss, who just won the lottery and made tons of money not doing any real work. I mean, really, they just took entire vacations and were even announcing, saying, guys, we were on vacation. We had to just take time off to probe the inner greatness of ourselves. So he's not as bat crazy stupid as them, but he's not much better. So, and that's fine. Listen, I've made clear I want to work in Hollywood. I want to sell out in Hollywood, but there's degrees of selling out. I mean, here he's just full blown. I'm going to betray George. And George is not happy. Yeah, George is being the unreasonable guy here, I guess. But now let's skip to story number 2, which we'll make short and sweet because, Brett Cooper is kind of short and sweet. It's a bit of a double pun. So Brett is this, I'm not going to say untalented. She's cute. She's small. She's perky. She's very pretty. She's this one of many now weird right-wing extremist women making money from being women extremely right-wing. They don't have any real depth. All they keep saying is, I'm very extremely right-wing, guys, and I love my Trump. Okay? And yes, they moralize about Hollywood being filled with predators and evil people and criminals, and they love Donald Trump. Figure that one out. But anyway, so this is an older video. I'm just making fun of her because, to be fair, her relationship with the Daily Wire now is more weird. So she helped build up this YouTube channel called The Comment Section, and it was massive. Like, the comment section now is struggling. It's not getting that many views. Still pretty healthy views for the number of subscribers, but they lost a lot of money and a lot of subscribers and fans because Brett left. Now, why Brett left, it's not entirely clear. It's not really clear, but apparently she was not comfortable, so she left. However, the Daily Wire, being stupid and crazy, tried to make a Snow White film with her, which apparently is gone. They put out a very short trailer, but she's gone now from that project. But they're already committed to another project called the Pendragon story or whatever. And I'm going to say, it's Game of Thrones. Yes, Ben Shapiro is trying to do the Game of Thrones. That just sounds preemptively stupid and crazy and laughable, and it is. It does not look like a big production. It's admirable that Brett is doing her own stunts in a few places. She's actually horseback riding, right? It's not an actor doing it, it's her. She has an acting background. She likes nature. She has a farm. Okay, that's fine. I just found it funny, the whole setup of her video saying, guys, we're going to take a break from loving Trump and covering up the criminality. Okay, we're going to take a break from that, from hating Hollywood, even though I'm a Hollywood person. What we're going to do is take a behind-the-scenes look at me on the Daily Wire movie. So yes, a YouTube channel, a Daily Wire propaganda piece, which is what she does, is going to take time out to do full-blown propaganda for their Hollywood production of their Hollywood propaganda. It's like a weird Russian doll, where she's like, that's what I found hilarious about the video. Say, guys, we're going to take a break from the propaganda, and we're going to look at behind the scenes and look at my propaganda, doing the propaganda for the Daily Wire propaganda. Try to keep up. Now, does it actually look promising? No. It looks really cheap and stupid. But you gotta admire Ben Shapiro's boldness that he's like, guys, this is gonna be high fantasy Arthurian. We've got a beautiful white woman with a sword. You've never seen that. Right. So the woke Hollywood crazy extremist people show you women with swords. But see, their problem is they messed up because they got a Chinese woman and a black woman with a sword. No. Ben is like, guys, we're gonna go back to the normal. The white woman has the sword. She swings it, but the guy's in control, and I'm going to make all the money. Okay, well, it looks kind of pathetic and stupid, and oh my god, they were reading parts of the script, and it was just too much. It was like the most, if you did not know this was the Daily Wire, you'd say, this is the most weird, woke nonsense. But when they do it, when we have women with a sword or a knife or a gun, it's like revolutionary conservatisms. But when Hollywood does it, it's like weird leftist communism, trans something or other. Even though, no disrespect to Brett, she does look cute. She doesn't have like insanely big breasts. Let's be honest here. She doesn't have like a Heidi Klum supermodel figure. I mean, really, she is like a dime a dozen here. Like she is the ideal of womanhood for the Daily Wire, even though she basically looks like every other Hollywood actress of her age group. I mean, it's like really. I mean, you could just blink and be like, she kind of looks like Kirsten Crook, one of those CW girls. I mean, what's the difference? But anyway, apparently Pendragon is coming, guys. We don't need House of the Dragon. We don't need Game of Thrones. We don't need George's Dragon. It's going to destroy the George Empire. It's going to destroy HBO. Watch out for it. Brett, it's over. Brett, no. Ryan, no. Shut up. Brett is the new. She's the new Gandalf. She is Lord of the Rings now. Probably no. But hey, I give her a lot of points. She's able to just ignore the tons of Palestinian children being massacred with Benny's friends and just be put out that smile and say, guys, I will work through it. Me and the Daily Wire, we're in an intense relationship, but we'll work through it. I will take the money and pick up the sword. It's never been done before, guys. A white woman with a sword in a fantasy series. It's never been done. Except it's been done dozens and dozens of times by much better people. Even Benioff and Weiss, I have to give them that. They put out a better series, I think, than Pendragon will be. But hey, it's early. Maybe I will be wrong and Pendragon will be the best things of all time. Maybe. Maybe.